Welcome again to Juara Stadium, home of the netball competition at these 29th Southeast Asian Games.
Yes,
and we're getting set for the second of the semi-finals. We'll bring together Singapore and Thailand. And these two teams finished second and third respectively after the 4 pool matches. In fact, they met as recently as yesterday in the last of those round-robin games. And Singapore won a tight encounter, 59-41. 2 of those quarters were decided by just 1 goal. So Thailand showing they're perfectly capable of taking the game right up to Singapore, and that's what we're expecting with so much on the line in this one. The winner to progress to the gold medal game where Malaysia awaits. Malaysia having defeated Brunei 70-28 in rather emphatic style, and they must now be the slight favourites for gold, even though 2 years ago it was Singapore who prevailed at home. They are the Southeast Asian Games champions, Singapore. They defeated Malaysia in the gold medal game 2 years ago, but only by a couple of goals. And that, of course, was in Singapore. Here we are in Malaysia, and the host nation is hoping to turn the tables. But first of all, we've got to decide their opponents. And we have waiting for us Singapore and Thailand.
Let's see. Okay,
so 59-41 the result between these teams.
All right.
As the draw would have it, they only played yesterday. That was the last of their round-robin games.
Do you guys have a special cheer to cheer for your
Vanessa Lee got a shot of a moment ago. The wing defence for Singapore. She is the captain.
Thailand. Okay, very
Some
simple.
support for the Singapore team here.
So
also for Thailand.
And just say Thailand for as long as you can. And then bola tu akan menjadi milik anda.
Thailand joint bronze medalists
for Team Thailand. 1, 2, 3, go!
2 years ago. So the local match presenters here trying to get the crowd involved in supporting both these teams. I think we're in for a good match, and a one that is, on paper at least, should be a lot closer than the first semi-final, which was rather lopsided between first and fourth. Malaysia too good for Brunei. But Singapore and Thailand, maybe not much in it.
Are you guys ready for this semi-final?
Singapore slight favourites.
Are you ready? I can't hear you.
The only loss for Singapore in the round-robin phase was to Malaysia, 50-37.
So please grab your seat.
Singapore defeated Brunei 62-37. Took care of the Philippines 91-22 and beat Thailand by 18 goals. It sounds a lot, but the first quarter was only 15-14 and the third 13-12. Be their 5th game in 6 days, so some wear and tear on the bodies. A few of the players wearing supportive and preventative strapping and support. Some of the Singapore delegation awaiting they hope is a good outcome for their team. Can they have the opportunity to defend the gold medal they won 2 years ago? Well, to do that, they must take care of Thailand this afternoon. Thailand lost to Malaysia 73-30. They beat the Philippines 86-16. Charmaine So there, the starting goal shooter for Singapore. Much will be asked of her. She'll be joined in the shooting circle today by To Kai Wei. Thailand beat the Philippines, beat Brunei 51-39 and lost to Singapore. So there is the starting lineup for Singapore. So Charmaine So, Kimberley Lim, captain at wing defence, AQILAH Goal defence. Centre is NURUL BAIZURA. Goalkeeper SHINA and KLIAWKED, as mentioned, goal attack alongside CHARMAINE so up front. So VANESSA Lee, captain, wing defence, and there are the 5 subs as well. Chunli Lee, Jocelyn and Melody Teo, PAWEENA. Coach for Singapore, Yomi Hong. Zhang Ai-Lin was the last of the subs for Singapore. I didn't get to. There's the starting lineup for Thailand though. And PAKLADATHANA DARAPORN will be a starting goal shooter, so see if she can be productive up front and how well she's fed by the likes of DARAPORN PANCHANG at wing attack and goal attack. SIRIMA, SAMNAREE, very important roles for them. PACHAREE, SANGJAN is the centre. Wing defence is BUNWILAI, THONGMA.
Singapore and Thailand, please be ready in front of at the airport for the introduction.
Coach for Thailand.
Thank you.
Can we have the 7 starting players for both teams to be ready in front?
So the starting 7s are about to be introduced to the crowd here. It's a little smaller than for the first semi-final, which involved the host nation, Malaysia. That's understandable.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Malaysia. Welcome to Kuala Lumpur. Welcome to Juara Stadium once again for the 29th SEA Games 2017. The second semi-final match today shall be between Singapore.
The players do line up from attack,
Thailand.
mid-court and defence, but that's not always the way they're introduced.
Introducing the players from
We'll see what happens this time.
Goal shooter, Charmaine Sochi Hui.
Well, that's a promising start if they're to stick with tradition. As on comes Charmaine So.
Goal attacker, To Kai Wei.
Yeah, To Kai Wei, goal attack. Should be followed by
Wing attacker,
KIMBERLY Lim.
Center, NURUL BAIZURA Abdul Razak.
NURUL BAIZURA.
Wing defender, VANESSA Mary. Goal defender, AQILAH
VANESSA Lee.
Agustino Saman.
Responsibility of leading the team.
Last but not least, the goalkeeper is SHINA.
We'll be hoping that they can do the job as efficiently as they did just 24 hours ago. AQILAH at goal defence, SHINA at goalkeeper. So on comes the Thailand starting 7. Goal shooter, PAKLADATHANA DARAPORN. SIRIMA SAMNAREE at goal attack.
Wing attack, DARAPORN
PANCHANG at wing attack.
Center, PACHAREE SANGJAN.
SANGJAN didn't start yesterday in the match against Singapore.
Wing defense, BUNWILAI THONGMA.
BUNWILAI THONGMA.
Goal
See some of these players with the Kinesi tape, that bright blue tape that supposedly supports the joints and helps circulation.
And the umpires for this match
Panchuturat and PAWEENA KAMWAN, the last 2.
And James Matthews as the reserve umpire. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing you live from Juara Stadium, Bukit Kiara.
You see the change that's come over international netball with 3 male officials to take care of this one. I'm sure they'll do a great job. Here we go then, second of the semi-finals. With Singapore in the blue uniforms and the black and silver for Thailand as they work it around the transverse line, looking for a way forward as the Singapore defence steps up to the task. drop ball out of play, and that presents a turnover straight up for Singapore. Lee able to tap it to her own advantage. Look around the circle and goal attack Tok Highway. This is with the first, but Charmaine So is there. Tapped out of the circle and cleaned up by Thailand. So early nerves perhaps amongst the goalers. Such an important match. A berth in the gold medal game is the prize. Well, the high ball in to the tall PAKLADATHANA Thithaporn is worth trying. She's got the height advantage over her two defenders in AQILAH and SHINA. That one rims out as well, and solid defense, good boxing out by Panchutorat. Oh, coming flying out of the circle to take the intercept. This looks better for Singapore. Kimberley Lim leaves it behind. So, plants that left foot, advances towards the post and sinks the opening goal for Singapore to settle a few nerves perhaps. Thailand again into the tall Thithaporn. Really towers over the other three players in that circle. So that's going to be the method. If Singapore are to starve her, they're going to have to do it further up court. Tokaiway misses. There was a hand on the ball there, not picked up by the umpire, but no harm done really. As Charmaine So makes it 2 apiece through the opening almost 3 minutes. Vibrant start from both teams, and those long balls are going to be difficult for Singapore, but this time they double team Thithaporn and get the result they're looking for. A turnover. Now Singapore looking for their goalers, and so good. You'll know that the very good shooters seem to have an almost effortless action. Toe this time, cleanly through. And that's a better sign for Singapore as they jump out to a 4-2 lead. Nothing but net on that one. And Thithaporn, it's her own rebound, makes it 4-3. She does. A daunting assignment trying to keep PAKLADATHANA and Thithaporn quiet. Very good shooter and lots of height about her, but at the other end, So restores the 2-goal lead for Singapore. SANGJAN takes the centre pass for Thailand. Patient build-up from the Thai 7. Thithaporn. Oh, that one comes out, and she's not in the best position to take the rebound, so Singapore gather it in. Good work, teamwork there by AQILAH and SHINA to grab that rebound. Well, a little fortunate to find its way into the Singapore circle. Hands all over this one. Tossed up in hope and gathered in again. They worked so hard to create that opportunity, but it wasn't well finished by So. Lim gave her a good feed. Hunting for an intercept, Singapore, but it's left players open on the far side of the court. Thailand. They can convert this possession. We'll be back to a 1-goal game. Thithaporn, no mistake from there. Turnover at the other end of the court. Thailand settling into this match in promising fashion. First quarter yesterday was very tight, 15-14 to Singapore. High scoring quarter too. 6 minutes gone, only 9 goals so far. Oh, athletic catch that one from SIRIMA SAMNAREE. The defender clatters into her. Clumsy work really by AQILAH, but beaten for pace. Dummies to offload does SIRIMA SAMNAREE and levels it at 5-all, and Thailand with possession from the centre pass. So Singapore off their best by this enthusiastic Thai team, and that will be a Singapore ball. Much needed. Good contest from SHINA to deny DARAPORN. Loose ball kept in. CHARMAINE picks it up, but there's a lot of hands grasping at the ball as it comes out of the opponent's hands. Umpires have got a match to deal with here. Thailand with a chance to take the lead here, halfway through the first quarter. Out of the circle is SAMNAREE. There's the target. And PAKLADATHANA DARAPORN. And there's the action, just a gentle amount of backspin. Caresses the inside, the back of the rim. Just a little loose with the ball at the moment, Singapore. Tokaiway leaves this one for So. And she converts. Square the ledger at 6 apiece. And 6:44 left in the first quarter. Well, that was a messy bit of play, but an enthusiastic bit of defence that won the day. Singapore. Back down the court they come. It's just a little untidy in this final third. Long range shot is good. And Tokaiway throws the head back. She wasn't confident about this one. She was beyond her comfortable range, I think. No problem. 7-6. And Singapore have settled down. Or have they? Spoke too soon. The pass was beyond the reach of CHARMAINE. Well, she's taking plenty of intercepts and getting lots of touches is SHINA, but she moved into a third she wasn't entitled to visit, and the ball was heading out in any case. So the goalkeepers can only stay in their goal third, as can the goal shooters. I'm sure you're all aware of that, but that was what the problem was for SHINA with that latest turnover. We might have some viewers new to netball, so we pick it up as we go along. It's a beautifully simple game, I think. It's not too hard to work out who can do what. It's just a matter of how well you execute the skills that netball asks of you, and these two teams doing a good job here in this second semi-final. Singapore out by 2. That's not a comfortable margin by any means. A well-placed delivery for So. really gave the defence no chance to get their hands to it. And CHARMAINE so bounces it off the rim and through. And they're out by 3 and potentially 4 here. And how quickly the game has changed. Thailand briefly had the lead. But they're on a 5-zip run here, Singapore. Potentially 6. No, turnover. So Thailand just bring it out of their back third. With 3.5 on the clock. Down by 4. PAKLADATHANA will get a second go. Worried expression on her face as she looks up court to see where the next ball's going to come from. Well, it's in Singapore's hands at the moment. CHARMAINE so. Oh, out it comes. But Singapore get a second look at it. So. And 11-7. 2:50 left in the first. Thailand having to retreat to come forward. With the benefit of the whistle. SAMNAREE shoots well. Gets it back to 3. So Thailand was stuck with one of their defenders out of the circle there, and it's set up quite easily for Singapore. So finishes the job. Last 2 minutes. This is when the coaches really want their players to make the big effort, push themselves hard. It's been played at a good pace, so they'll be feeling the strain of the exertion in the first 15 minutes. Long ball up, 2 back, trying to keep PAKLADATHANA quiet. It's come off Singapore's hands though. Thai coaching staff looking for another one here to get it back to 3. Strong rebound by PAKLADATHANA. And again, took 3 goes. Got the job done. It's a little bit of a push. A lot of flex in that shooting wrist. That's right, she's very effective nonetheless. To Kaiwei gets another for Singapore. Oh, that's a bad turnover. It was really a gift. And the chance for Singapore to push it out to 5 at 20 seconds left. It's time enough. Oh, and a step. So Thailand, can they be efficient to bring the ball down court and get one last attempt? Throw the long ball in perhaps. Running out of time. There's the long ball. She'll have to get it away quickly, but the defense is there. That's a resilient effort from the Singapore defenders to deny Thailand at the last moment there in the end of this first quarter. So some solid exchanges there at the first break. In this second semi-final, it's Singapore leading Thailand 13-9.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first one of Singapore versus Thailand. How was it? Singaporeans? Yeah? Alright, now we're going to make this very, very quick. This is a mini-size netball. Very simple. Who here can tell me the name of your GS, the Singaporean GS? Chamine. Sorry? Chamine. Correct. Is that correct, Singaporean? Yeah? What was the full name?
Teams back out on court for the second quarter of the second semi-final. So this match decides who goes to the gold medal match. Malaysia had their berth booked. 13-9 Singapore over Thailand. In the previous encounter between the two, it was 15-14 at quarter time. So a higher scoring first period in that earlier match and closer as well. So claims the first goal of the second quarter. And Thailand just need to convert a couple of turnovers and not give over any cheap possession themselves, and they can make a dent in this margin. As SANGJAN nudges it up to the edge of the circle, and then the goal is converted by PAKLADATHANA. Had a good first quarter. Singapore struggled to dispute the good feeds into her, but the well-weighted balls didn't come quite so often in the last 5 minutes of that first quarter for PAKLADATHANA. Meanwhile, CHARMAINE quite tall herself, but also very mobile. Happy to move around the circle, perhaps a bit more than PAKLADATHANA at the other end. So 15-10. Singapore defence working hard, looking for that next turnover. Where's it going to come from? They've got Thailand stalled in that centre third, and there is the turnover. So great work from Singapore, putting the pressure on. Every player a defender when you don't have the ball. That's the secret, but then they give it straight back as Thailand step up their defensive pressure. See how difficult it is to get to this last third. Now Thailand are there. Where's that long ball in? Don't need it. So they don't go for PAKLADATHANA this time. SAMNAREE converts well. Back to a 4-goal game as it was at quarter time. Well, a misunderstanding there, and she just stopped on a run. And a shake of the head from the coaching bench. Thailand in possession. Singapore player out of the play. That was So. And another turnover on the transverse line. So both teams really struggling to get it into the circle. And as I say, that Singapore with some brisk work through the hands, push it out to 16-11 as Kai Wei Puts in another. They're balancing the workout quite nicely, Charmaine So and To Kai Wei. Might have made a little change in the middle there. Thailand with Pancharee SANGJAN as the starting centre today, but did not start in the earlier match between these two. Darapon PANCHANG is the wing attack. In it goes to PAKLADATHANA, and she pulls it back to 4 again. Just can't separate these two. Again, both teams taking 4 and 5 passes to get out of that centre third. It just seems that Thailand, when they do get a turnover, they're just not looking after it well enough. Charmaine So. Almost a held ball in the centre. And that will stay with Thailand. It's off a Singapore player. And I think Singapore just thought that was going to miss. Not quite as alert to the turnover as they might have been. And this one, oh gee, there was hand on the hand. And Singapore back out to a 5-goal lead thanks to the accuracy from Charmaine So. Many of her attempts going cleanly through, not bouncing off the rim, causing a minimum of stress and a minimum of rebounds being offered. Hard to get a defensive rebound if the goalers don't miss. Another one for PAKLADATHANA. So, back out to 5. Now Singapore will be really looking for another turnover or two here because the margin hasn't increased really. It's just been going backwards between 4 and 5, 4 and 5. It was 4 at quarter time. If they're to give themselves a sort of a margin of comfort, they have to do better, do more. Thailand digging in this second quarter. PAKLADATHANA, oh, she was off there under pressure. But SAMNAREE converts. Well, there's a turnover for Thailand. What can they do with it? Can they get it down the court, or the Singapore redouble their efforts defensively? Umpires advance it into the circle. So this to get it back to 3. And they do. 19-16. And Thailand with the centre pass is to get it back to 2. And Singapore almost asleep on the loose ball there, but Lee has it now. Captain, and we're looking for her to lead the way here. And she has it just in the centre third for Singapore. It just looks like it's getting harder and harder for Singapore to penetrate the circle. And penalty given up off the ball by To Kai Wei, too anxious to get it. That's a tribute to the pressure that Thailand are putting on. Great intercept from Lee. Kimberly Lim saying, hey, the floor needs to be wiped. So a pause in play while they take care of that small risk to the players. You don't want them falling over because of the perspiration on the court. Well, a risky pass. Oh, great hands over it from Tokai Wei, and she converts. And saves the blushes of her teammates by taking the intercept and slotting the goal. The possession with Thailand. Oh, player down. He's all right. I was about to say, every pass is having pressure put over it. Hands up over everything. That's what the coaches want. But it's happening on both teams. They're really struggling to penetrate. Quite a low scoring first half. 5:50 to go and 20-16. Out it comes, and Thailand's possession. So 30 goals scored so far. There were 52 goals scored in the first half when they last met. So the teams have adjusted to each other's style of play. They're reading each other's attack quite well, and the defence is really stepping up. Defences can win your matches. Oh, perfectly placed ball for PAKLADATHANA to convert. How good was the weight on that pass? So Chen back there for Singapore has come on into the defensive circle in this second quarter. She's a better match for height, standing shoulder to shoulder with PAKLADATHANA. Thailand pull it back to 2, so they are leading this quarter, if not the match. Still down by a couple, but they were down by 4 at quarter time. One gets trapped in the jaws of the goal and drops the right way for Singapore. Tokai Wei had a look, nearly popped out. Thailand, like Singapore, finding there's no really direct route into the circle. At the post that time was SIRIMA SAMNAREE, and the Thai players pretty excited about the way this second quarter has gone. So in the 4 quarters of the earlier encounter and the one already played here in this second semi-final, Thailand has not beaten Singapore over a 15-minute period, but look likely to do it here now, and that sets it up nicely for the second half. As a contest, give you some nerves if you're a Singapore supporter. As so, gets that gap back out to 3. Thailand have come to play, and they are playing hard and fast. Oh, Chen has done a great job, comes flying out of the circle. She got hands to the ball first here. Look, there was a collision, and to add insult to injury, Thai player goes to the deck and has the call made against her, but that's because Chen got hands to the ball. And And a very important turnover gets that margin back out to 4. Tokai Wei. And don't let anyone try to tell you that netball at this level is a no-contact game. They don't even pretend that it is or should be, because there's not room for 14 players on the court moving at this kind of speed and commitment not to run into each other sometimes. It's just, you know, a bit of body control is what the umpires want to see, but a good contest for the ball also. And Singapore back out to a 5-goal lead and 90 seconds left in this second quarter. Thailand must make these seconds count. Nice little exchange between goal attack and wing attack. And SIRIMA SAMNAREE puts it back to 4. Now the pressure swings across to Singapore. Tokai Wei has a feet taken from under her. So, applauds the work of her teammates and gives them some encouragement. Thanks for that one. Made it easy for her. Any of them easy in the pressure cooker of a semi-final. Need the right temperament to be a bowler under pressure. 30 seconds. Plenty of time here for PAKLADATHANA. Trim it back to 4. Rolls off the end of the fingers nicely. Very accurate shot, that one. Singapore running out of time to convert one more. I don't think they'll get the chance. That'll be that. Well, looks like time's up. It is. Oh. And it drops. So that's an interesting few seconds towards the end of that quarter. The television clock suggested that the umpires were playing a bit more time than they should have. Well, it favoured Singapore as they go to the longer break, still in front. But a great effort from Thailand in that second quarter, 26-21. So the lead has only moved from 4 to 5 in this second semi-final. The winner to go through and meet Malaysia in the gold medal game.
Excuse my accent, on your passport or on your IC or even on your driver's license. Number 29. That is your, no, yes, is this your license? No, this is your passport. Wow. What was I thinking? Your passport? That's your wife, right? Sorry. Alright, on your passport or your IC. Alright, number 29, I need one more person. Okay, come on. Oh, okay, got it. It's okay. Yes! This will be a fight between Singapore and also Malaysia. And I can name you. And one time I want boys. So excited. Your name is Azim. And you, sir? Yeah, please stand at your belongings. Your name is? Oh yeah. Oh my god, my Chinese mother will kill me. Alright, so first of all, we're going to the goalpost over here. And as you guys know it, all you need to do is you need to score. You need to shoot best out of 3. Okay, best out of 3. So each of you, anywhere. Okay, we're going to go to the goalpost. Okay, we don't want to catch your team. Okay, come, let's go faster. Alright. Let's do this. Let's have a applause for Sonaki. Give her a applause for the boys, ladies and gentlemen. We have Oil from Singapore as well as Alison from Malaysia. Okay. So who wants to start first? Wow. Yeah. Anywhere within the league. Like the future. Right? We call girls street for girls. Alright, boys. Anyway. Alright, come on. Okay, if you no pressure, but kalau tak masuk, you get ball. Deal ball doesn't matter, guys. Alright. Okay, salah je. Come on. Start your breaker. Yeah. Alright, over there. You guys are going to take this and put that back down. If not, until tomorrow we'll finish. So, hi. Okay. Come on then. No pressure, but you don't get it. Okay, now stand back. Okay, keep up, alright? Alright. Alright, come on, ladies. Alright, congratulations! We are Luna. Yes, the ball is yours. The exclusive ball signed by the Malaysian team. And after you are walking home, and we can have your first get the Malaysian ball. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please cheer for Team Thailand! Make some noise for Team Singapore! Alright. Now I want everyone to shout SEA Games! Come on, 3, 2, 1, SEA Games! Alright, everyone guys, on the count of 3, everyone say SEA Games! 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now everyone say, go Singapore. Go Thailand. Go SEA Games. Alright, keep up the energy, because the team needs you to cheer for them to terus fighting. Right. But we're in the SEA Games, so no Koreans are involved this time around. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging with us here in Juara Stadium. So please give yourself a big round of applause. Thank you for spending this Saturday afternoon with us, especially to our friends from Singapore, and especially to our friends from Thailand. They travel all the way to Malaysia to witness the 29th Southeast Asia Games. So Malaysia, mereka juga untuk kita punya jiran-jiran semua di bawah mereka datang. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Everyone say, this is the SEA Games. Before we start the game, okay? This is the SEA Games. 3, 2, 1, go! One more time. This is the SEA Games. Alright.
Getting ready for the second half of this second semi-final, Singapore and Thailand. (26-21) Singapore with a 5-goal lead. Earlier, Malaysia defeated Brunei in the first semi-final, so they're sitting back, confident they're in the gold medal game, and at least some from that Malaysian coaching staff would be keeping an eye on this match, I'm sure. See what their opponents look like. I would have half expected it would be Singapore, but Thailand certainly taking it to Singapore through the first half of this match. SAMNAREE turns, gives it back to the centre. PAKLADATHANA, he's been ably assisted today by SIRIMA SAMNAREE. So one each through the first moments of the third quarter. Chen must stand beside, and PAKLADATHANA duly finishes. Just waiting really for the crucial moments of this match to present themselves. So Zhang on at goal attack now for Singapore. Zhang Ailin replacing Tokaiwei. Tokaiwei took a couple of heavy knocks in that second quarter. AQILAH's moved from goal defence out to wing defence. Lim still at wing attack. She has it now for Singapore. And Zhang now, so Singapore just seizing a little opportunity here and then throwing it away. So over Zhang Ailin with a chance to take it out to 6. Beg your pardon, 7. Good pressure up and down the court from Singapore, requiring a lot of passes from Thailand to get it into the circle, but the double drop forcing the step from PAKLADATHANA for Singapore. Can they look after it? Zhang Ailin doing some good work out of the circle. Looks for a return ball. Pressure on CHARMAINE So, but illegal pressure. And Singapore hit 30. So they're leading this quarter 4-2, Singapore. Oh, a great tap there from AQILAH. Some very athletic passing and manoeuvring up the court from the Singapore 7. And it's nicely finished. It's good work. You want to see that rewarded by your goalers, and so make sure of it. She does have an unusual shooting action, CHARMAINE So, because it's two-handed. Normally, or more frequently, is a better way to put it. The goalers will just take the left hand, if they're right-handed, off the ball as it leaves, and it becomes a one-handed shooting action. But if you watch CHARMAINE So, both hands are on the ball right up to the moment it leaves the hands. For example, at the other end, PAKLADATHANA there, so it's very much in the right hand as it leaves towards goal. It's something to watch. It's her own style, and it's a very effective one, CHARMAINE So. Zhang, comfortable range shot, make sure of it. Thailand now down by 9. Can't afford any more turnovers. SAMNAREE didn't like the look of that one. Got a jostling in the circle. Nicely weighted for PAKLADATHANA. SHINA has moved out to goal defence. Chen back there in goalkeeper bib. And there's a turnover, a good one and a timely one for Thailand. They've seen the margin work against them in the last couple of minutes. And very nearly a held ball. Good pressure, Singapore. Forced a long shot, but it's a good one from PAKLADATHANA. Had to pull the trigger from a long way out, but did so accurately. Great pressure, Singapore. What can they do with this? They forced Thailand to retreat to keep possession. And it forced a long pass, a long backwards pass and an accurate one, and Zhang takes full toll. So out to 8 is the lead. So there's that two-handed shooting action. What's even more fascinating about it is that both hands don't follow the ball completely evenly. When she does shoot, the right hand sort of drops a little. It does seem to be a simultaneous release of the ball from both hands. She makes her way along the baseline. Here's a good look at the action. Oh, out it comes. Should have been good. We've closed in nice and tight to show you how it works. And she let us down. But 9-goal lead. This looks very promising for Singapore. They'll try to lock down that other spot in the gold medal game. Zhang, nearly a step. Neatly placed for So. She misses another one, but claims the rebound. The shooting hands have gone just a tiny bit cold. But with a lead of 10, they can afford to miss a couple. Oh, what a pass from BAIZURA off the hip and straight into the solar plexus of Zhang, but she was awake to it. Singapore supporters finding voice and finding a very agreeable scoreline now of 37-26 with 5.5 to go in the third. They only led by 5 at half-time, and that has ballooned out to 11. As Teo helps her opponent to her feet. She did arrive late. Tried to protect her opponent with the fall. So no malice intended. And quite a dynamic effort in this third quarter from Singapore. They seem to have upped the effort. 37-27. The winning margin yesterday for Singapore over Thailand was 18. 59-41 it was. There's that double-handed release, and then the right hand drops when she lets it go. I'm really quite fascinated by this action of So's. You really don't see it too often. For right-handed shooters in netball and basketball, the left hand is really just there for support, and the right hand pushes through, with the right hand supporting the left-handed shooter. But to see both hands pushing through towards the goal and releasing simultaneously, it does make her not exactly unique, but unusual. Singapore with a chance to further increase the lead. 38-28, 3.5 to go in the third. Looking quite crisp now in their work around the circle. They just lost their rhythm a bit in the second quarter. It's back now as that one crawls across the rim and through for So. Oh, flying into the circle comes Zhang. Misses. So's got it. Interesting to know which is her dominant hand, because it's hard to tell from the shooting action. 40-28. Leading by 12 now. So Singapore won the first quarter 13-9, the second 13-12. But in this quarter they've already got 14 goals, so it's their most productive so far. It's been a little quieter though for PAKLADATHANA. SAMNAREE shapes to give it to her. Does draw the opponent within the 3 feet. Gets the advantage of the whistle and closes it to 11. And with possession too. SAMNAREE drawn out to the transverse line to try and create something here, but it's only a turnover for Singapore. Great work from Teo. Well, hands all over CHARMAINE So there from the goal defence. So a little glimpse there of Ruth Aitken, former New Zealand national coach, who's been helping the Singapore program. Inside the last minute of the third quarter, Singapore have really put a stamp on this match in the last 14 minutes. And Singapore will have time. Actually, do they have the centre pass though? No, they don't. It's Thailand's. So They swing it across court. Nice use of the width. 30 seconds, good pressure. And that's Singapore's ball now. 15 seconds to bring it down court. Do they want to really push it? They've got to be very efficient here. And they will get the shot. And don't make it count, unfortunately. Young was unable to put in what would have been a 40-second goal and a 12-goal lead, Singapore, but they've taken a good hold of this match in the second semi-final because they're leading Thailand 41-30 with 15 minutes to play.
To make it all happen for you, for the planet, for our tomorrows. To make everyone safe and better, a much brighter way. Another nation, better, brighter.
All right, ladies and gents. What an exciting match between Singapore and Thailand. So ladies and gentlemen, please give these ladies a big round of applause. Alright, I have one final mini netball to give everyone. So I want to show fans who actually watch this ball play. Oh, okay, so tomorrow, okay, tomorrow. Right, what's your name? What's your name? Marissa, your name is? San. Okay. What's your nickname? Okay. Alright. So, are you all siblings? Are you ready? Yes? Okay, good. So, saya nak jujur, kau baca boleh tak? Kita buat kesimpulan ni. Okay, boleh. Okay, kedua, adik-adik ni. Kedua sebut SEA Games. Okay, boleh. Tarik nafas kuat. Lengkap. Clear? 1, 2, 3. Apa SEA Games. Okay, ada S kat belakang. SEA Games. Okay, mari kita 1, 2, 3. Okay, here you go. Let's go. Jom. Let's start.
Getting set for the final quarter of this second semi-final. The task is a daunting one for Thailand, trailing now 41-30. With Singapore taking that third quarter by 15 goals to 9. Players on court just a little prematurely as the umpires won't allow play to commence until the moment is just ripe. Here we go then, Singapore in the blue uniforms, right to left. Looking to join Malaysia in the gold medal game. The goal defence there just reluctant to pick up her own spilled ball in case it was viewed as playing her own. Delightful shooting again from CHARMAINE. builds the way of Singapore. Kimberly Lim just bounces it in nicely from outside the circle to favour her goalers. These are the moments really towards the end of an important match when you've got an even more important match to come that you just hope that you don't have any injuries. So good. And 44-30. It's just about out of the reach of Thailand now because they've scored the first 3 goals of the last quarter. Singapore, very promising for them. And another turnover. So out to the top of the circle. BAIZURA's had a strong game at centre for Singapore, and oh no, that'll be a turnover for Thailand. Singapore looked ready to go on with it. Umpires had other ideas. Cross court it comes, dangerous ball, well contested, but well retrieved. Three seconds, took too long. I always think it looks worse if the player puts the ball in one hand and starts pointing and giving directions before she gives the pass. That almost gives the umpires the feeling that they've taken too long, even if it wasn't 3 seconds, which it probably was on that occasion. If I could offer any advice to players in that situation is that don't look like you've got more time than 3 seconds, because the umpires might disagree. Oh, skims across the rim again. And so it stays at 44-30. We're 2.5 minutes into this final quarter, and still Thailand haven't added to their 3/4 time score. They're really struggling to get it down there. In we go now. Finally into the circle. Oh, great timing from Chen to deny the shot. So PAKLADATHANA has been given an early rest. And a turnover there. So looking just a little fatigued perhaps. She's certainly given it 100% through the 3 quarters so far. Nearly the layup from SIRIMA SAMNAREE. Lead back to 12. Oh, that was a 50-50 call. So DARAPORN is on at goal shooter for PAKLADATHANA. DARAPORN's full name, DARAPORN Sutachit. Singapore just been stuck for a couple of minutes on 44, but CHARMAINE So puts that right with another sweetly taken shot. 45-33, see the manually operated scoreboard in the background. Nice to see that. Touch of nostalgia about that, when the days of electronic scoreboards everywhere. Under 10 minutes left in this second semi, and they'll just be looking, Singapore, to coast this one home without any stress, and as mentioned, more importantly, without any injuries. They're not going to get beaten from here. DARAPORN puts up a nice shot. coach Chingli Lee for Thailand, just looking to see what other players can offer in this situation. She probably conceded that turning the match around from 11 goals down was not going to happen. So, yeah, super slow-mo shows you that both hands release the ball at the same time. I mentioned Ruth Aitken's involvement with Singapore Netball. She was technical director and coach for 4 years of Netball Singapore, 2012 to 2016. And took them to a gold medal in the 2014 Asian National Championships and, of course, the Southeast Asian Games of 2015. And looks to still have an involvement in the game because she's here watching on in the red shirt. And even if the coaching reins have gone across to Yomi Hong, Ruth Aitken, a fine coach of New Zealand, had many memorable battles with Australia while she was coaching the New Zealand team. One of the great rivalries in netball, Australia and New Zealand. And we're seeing one play out here between Thailand and Singapore. They met only yesterday. Singapore 59-41 winners then. I don't think they'll get to 59 here, but they are going to get enough. Chen drifts in a little too close. Nice delay on the shot from SIRIMA SAMNAREE. And, oh, gee, that's a little cheeky from Zhang Ailin, just bouncing the ball to her own advantage there. There was a time when they took a far dimmer view of that. As much as anything to make sure there's a clear differentiation between the way the ball is played in netball and basketball, but to paddle it to yourself as Zhang did, a little cheeky, and in times past you would not have got away with it. A little more liberal on that view now. Particularly if it seems you've dropped the ball, not just sort of battered it on. Now Thailand pull it back to 9 and 6.5 to go. So the margin was 11 at three-quarter time, so Thailand are winning the quarter. But winning the match would look to be beyond them. Oh, great shot. CHARMAINE so put herself under a bit of time pressure there, having lost the balance. All right, so Nair, Pavi Nair coming on Singapore for the closing 6 minutes. Good to get her on. Give Chen perhaps a break. And lucky there was some backup for Thailand after the spilled ball. Oh. No, that's got to be taken from the sideline. That was a foot over the line when the Singapore player went to retrieve it. It was 100% effort, but couldn't quite execute. SAMNAREE, one of her better goals of the match, and it pulls the margin back under double figures again. 48-39, 5 to go. Oh, so he's had a stellar game. Yeah, I keep looking for little nuances in that unusual shooting style of hers, it does look like the hands aren't evenly positioned behind the ball. That maybe there's a bit more of the left hand in it. But they still let go of the ball at the same time, though. What do you think? The left hand stays higher, and that's a repeated part of the shooting action. As she lets the ball go, the left hand is well above her head, and the right hand drops a little. Another chance to watch it. I'll tell you what, it's effective. As it goes back out to 12. 51-39 Singapore, with under 4 to go. So they're into the gold medal against Malaysia. That game will be a repeat in terms of the participants of 2 years ago. And, Malaysia lost the gold medal game by just a couple in Singapore. But the way they're playing, and having beaten Singapore in the rounds, what was the score there? They beat Singapore 50-37, so they've won by 13. It'll be very difficult, one would think, on those results for Singapore to turn it round. There's a defender hits the deck for Singapore. Was PAWEENA. Singapore will go into the gold medal game as slight underdogs, even though they're chalking up a good victory here. Malaysia were absolutely dominant for much of the game in that first semi-final against Brunei. And they were able to rest a number of players across the match who would otherwise have had 60 minutes in a close match or in a really important one that they didn't feel confident about winning, but they were too good very early against Brunei. Pardon me. So, drains another one. It's Ruth Aitken there, bottom right. Oh, nice no-look pass into Daraporn, and she'll get a second go here with the goalkeeper out of play. Pavin there to stand beside. Last 80 seconds now. So has lost her player's patch. That's the one just outside the circle. Teammate comes over to pick it up. And Zhang Ailin. That's at 54-42. Very similar looking scoreline to their match in the rounds. 59-41 that was. There were just brief periods in the match, both the first and second quarters, where Singapore looked a little off their best and a little upset by the enthusiasm of Thailand, but across 4 quarters they've done more than enough to win it and give themselves a fairly stress-free last quarter. Into the last 20 seconds, this to make it 12. 55-43 it is, and that's probably all there'll be unless Thailand can do it in a hurry. They do want one more. Need to shoot it. And that one won't count even if it did drop. So there we have it, Singapore through to the gold medal game. They've taken care of things against Thailand. 13-9 at quarter time, 26-21, and then 41-30. They had the job more than 3 quarters done at 3/4 time and go on to win it 55-43. So congratulations to Singapore through to the match that matters most, and a gallant effort from Thailand, but it is Singapore through 55-43.
All right, big round of applause for the teams. Congratulations, both of them have fought brilliantly, very valiantly as well. So congratulations again to Singapore and Thailand. And don't forget to drop by again tomorrow, approximately at 3 p.m. But please be here early. If you guys want to get good seats, you're gonna avoid all the traffic. Be here early, where you will witness the team who will bring home the gold medal. Will it be Malaysia or will it be Singapore? Yes, yes, I love that you guys have confidence. Not only the referees are back tomorrow. Those of you heading back now, drive safe, and we'll meet again tomorrow. Bye!
PAKLADATHANA nanti